Coping with burnout, a resilience-based approach. 1. Analysis and interpretation of findings. So here's what we found in this journey. Resilience plays a huge role in shielding us from burnout. Instead of just putting up with stress until we break, those who build resilience use healthy coping strategies, like seeing problems from a new perspective, managing emotions wisely, and tackling challenges head-on. These simple but powerful habits can seriously ease the long-term effects of constant workplace pressure. Pretty amazing, right? Stick around because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into how this connects with some classic theories you might recognize. Now, these findings aren't floating in a vacuum. They really echo the ideas from Lazarus and Folkman's stress and coping theory, which talks about how we're always in a dance with our environment, adapting and adjusting. They also match Richardson's resilience model, suggesting that facing hardships is often the spark that helps us grow stronger. Plus, it ties neatly into Maslach and Leiter's work on burnout, but with a fresh twist, showing burnout as not just an end, but a chance to reset and bounce back. Interesting, right? Changes how we look at challenges. What do you think so far? Could burnout actually be a turning point for you too? That's why, when we think about resilience, we shouldn't see it as something you either have or you don't. It's a skill. Something living, growing, and learnable. Through resilience, burnout shifts from feeling like failure to feeling like an opportunity to evolve. It's a pretty inspiring way to reframe our struggles. Want to find out how this fresh view can make a big difference in your everyday life? Let's keep going. 2 implications of the findings. When we look at the bigger picture, adopting a resilience-based approach to burnout has some real game-changing effects, not just for individuals but for companies, schools, and even therapists. For each of us personally, seeing resilience as a skill we can build means we can actually take action before burnout hits. Things like practicing mindfulness, reflecting on our strengths, staying connected with people we trust, and reframing tough situations. They're all tools we can weave into our daily lives to stay mentally strong. Feels empowering, doesn't it? What's one small habit you'd like to try after hearing this? In the workplace, this approach suggests a big shift is needed too. Rather than waiting until employees burn out to offer help, organizations could bake resilience into their culture from the start. Imagine leadership training that teaches resilience, wellness programs that really work, and workplaces where support isn't just a buzzword. Could totally change how people show up at work. Sounds like the kind of workplace we all want, right? We'll talk more about building that dream environment in a bit. In education, bringing resilience into classrooms could give students the tools they need to manage pressure way before they hit the workforce. And in therapy, professionals are encouraged to focus not just on fixing problems, but on helping clients build lasting strength through coaching, storytelling, and finding deeper meaning in their experiences. Imagine if growing stronger was part of every step of our education and therapy journeys. How much easier would life feel? In short, resilience isn't just a personal advantage. It could truly reshape how society handles mental health, especially in high-stress professions. Want to hear what factors make resilience easier or harder to build? Let's jump into that next. 3. Factors influencing the results. Okay, so here's the thing. Building resilience isn't just about personal effort. The environment you're in really matters too. On the bright side, the study found that people who stayed connected with supportive communities, kept up reflective habits like journaling or mentoring, and believed they had some control over their lives were way better at staying resilient. Traits like optimism, flexibility, and emotional intelligence also made a big difference. Makes sense, right? Having even 1 or 2 strong relationships can make all the difference. Who's your go-to person when things get tough? But on the flip side, some environments made it really hard to bounce back. Toxic workplaces, insane workloads, little control over decisions, and poor support systems made it much harder for people to build resilience. Even the strongest individuals struggled when the environment kept draining them without giving anything back. It's a good reminder, isn't it? It's not always about toughing it out. Sometimes the system around us needs to change too. This bigger view challenges that old idea that it's all on you to just be more resilient. It's really about shared responsibility between individuals and the communities, companies, and leaders around them. Feels validating, doesn't it? Ready to hear some honest talk about where this study had its limits? Let's get real about that next. 4. Research limitations. While the insights we've uncovered are pretty powerful, we have to be honest. No study is perfect. And this one's no exception. First, the group of participants wasn't super diverse. Most came from similar job fields and backgrounds. So the results might not capture how resilience plays out for everyone everywhere. Future research definitely needs to cast a wider net. Makes you wonder, how might resilience look different in your world compared to someone else's? Interesting to think about, right? Second, the study relied a lot on people's own reports about their experiences. And let's be real. Sometimes we remember things differently or want to paint a better picture of ourselves without even realizing it. That's just human nature. Have you ever looked back on a tough time and realized you remembered it a little differently than how it actually felt in the moment? Lastly, a lot of what worked for these participants seemed closely tied to their specific workplaces. So what helps someone working in healthcare might not be exactly what helps someone in tech, education, or creative industries. That's why it's important not to see resilience strategies as one size fits all. Wondering what future research could explore to make things even clearer? Stick with me, we're about to dive into it. 5. Recommendations for future research. Looking ahead, there's so much exciting ground to cover. One idea, longitudinal studies basically following people over time, could show how resilience evolves across different stages of stress and recovery. It would give us a fuller, richer story. Wouldn't it be amazing to actually see how someone's resilience grows over years, not just months? Another opportunity lies in cross-cultural research. Different cultures teach different ways of handling pressure, success, and failure. Comparing those could open up a whole new world of understanding. What lessons do you think we could learn from other cultures about resilience? It's a fascinating thought. There's also a need for mixed methods research, blending hard numbers with people's personal stories. Because honestly, resilience isn't just something you measure. It's something you live. And finally, future studies could focus more on testing resilience-building programs in real-world settings and looking deeply at how leadership, team dynamics, and workplace policies either support or block resilience. Imagine if every workplace invested in resilience the same way they invest in technology. What kind of world could we build together? 6. Conclusion. At the heart of all this, coping with burnout. A resilience-based approach offers a powerful message. Burnout isn't a sign you're broken. It's often a signal that it's time for a reset, a moment to reconnect with your own strength and the support systems around you. Resilience isn't something distant or unreachable. It's something you can grow, nurture, and live out through everyday choices, relationships, and mindsets. When both individuals and organizations embrace this idea, burnout doesn't have to be a dead end. It can become a springboard toward clarity, strength, and real lasting well-being. Feels hopeful, right? What's one small step you feel inspired to take today to start strengthening your own resilience? Because at the end of the day, it's not about avoiding challenges. It's about learning to rise stronger because of them. And you're more capable of that than you might think.